Hi, John Millar here, from Managing Director of More Profit Less Time. Welcome back to our Business Leaders series, and today I'm actually pleased to be able to present to you Gillian Kinder from Compliance Essentials. How are you,
John? Hi, good to see you.
Likewise. Look, I had the good fortune of meeting Gillian in 2011 and actually be present in the audience while she was presenting information about compliance to businesses. And this was particularly important because that's a very important part of the business that is often forgotten until something happens where you're actually in breach, and by then it's either too late or it's cost you a lot of money or a lot of heartache and a lot of problems with the team. So Gillian, I guess let's start with talking about your history and what brought you to this point today.
I've been a Chartered Secretary for 20-something years. And as an addition to that qualification, I have a Master's degree in Commercial Law, which I've completed in the last decade, during the last decade. Over the years, I've worked with a variety of businesses, often small to medium size, and during the course of that experience, I saw that there were lots of breaches that were common to business in different industries, but with a commonality between the breaches. And with my background, I decided to basically stand on a soapbox and try to prevent that happening for businesses today.
Excellent. So you saw a need, you saw a gap there,
Yes.
And from my understanding, you've got a pretty unique offering that you actually help people with.
Well, I believe so. I believe so. A lot of compliance is hinging on the regulation attaching to banking or franchising or financial services. What we look at Compliance Essentials, it's the legislation that's common to most businesses, so OH&S, HR, consumer law, corporations law, work cover, privacy. And we look at an enterprise-wide concept of a compliance framework where possible.
Right, that makes a lot of sense, which means that you'd then be able to look after a broad variety of businesses. Can you give us an idea as to I guess the industry sectors of the types of businesses that would typically need help with compliance?
Manufacturing industry. I've worked with service industry, I've worked in media, I've worked with retail, and I've worked with a whole gamut of small to medium-sized businesses, including not-for-profits.
Okay. Now, my understanding is a big part of what you do is actually look at keeping information up to date and current, but also helping businesses to avoid I think the term is regulatory investigation. And it's a big term, but what does that actually mean, and what can be done to avoid those things?
Basically, let's just take, for example, work cover. If there are certain things that the client organisation fails to do, then the chances are they will get a work-safe inspection. The same thing can happen with consumer law, it can happen with Fair Work Australia. So what we try to do is help them to put systems and processes in place in attendance with compliance obligations and some risk management tools, and help them to get as close as possible to being perfect, so that if, in the event that they get a random investigation, there's very little for the investigator to find.
Excellent. So we're avoiding the pain rather than waiting to be investigated. Now, what happens if what if you do go through and do get your business all the compliance covered with the Compliance Essentials, and you still get investigated? I mean, how does that help?
Well, it's becoming fairly well known that if you have systems in place, then the chances are the investigator will look upon you far more leniently. Even if they find something, they will appreciate that you are trying to be compliant and that you have done the best you can to make sure that you work within the law. Excellent.
So you can actually avoid a lot of pain by taking a few proactive measures. Now, surely this must take months and cost a squillion dollars. Really, does that make it unachievable for the small to medium-sized businesses?
Very much not, no. I have produced a model that actually proves that being proactive can save 2 to 3 times what it would cost to fix a regulatory breach. But we also have some compliance plans that we can take to the client, where we can operate quite quickly and unobtrusively and work with the client to help them put systems in place. And at the end of the day, there are savings that can be made and there is benefit to business. It will all finally go to the bottom line and increase the bottom line.
Excellent. And how long would it normally take to go in and do this inside a business?
An initial health check, possibly 5 working days. If the client wants some further work after that, then we're happy to help with that.
Excellent. Now, I understand that Compliance Essentials and yourself are actually part of the Enterprise Connect TAS program as well.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that many of your services can be available for government subsidy and assistance from the government in being able to put those compliance measures in place?
Well, certainly we can achieve government subsidy through the TAS advisory process. I also have another scheme that's appropriate for Victoria for manufacturing business, where we can look at OH&S and HR, and the client can have 75% up to $4,000 as a refund if they're an eligible business.
Wow, so the government can pay up to 3/4 of the process to make sure that the government can't just go in there and give you a hard time.
Ostensibly, yes.
Okay, so that boils it down into a nutshell. Look, that's fantastic. I've really appreciated the opportunity to meet with you today and to give us a brief overview into a topic that realistically most businesses that we meet don't really approach until it's too late. They're trying to shut the gate after the horse has bolted, something's happened, they've been in breach, somebody's gotten hurt, and they're being investigated. Nobody likes being investigated by the government. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I hope that you take the opportunity to look at the attached information on our on this video and click on the link to go through and talk to Gillian and her team to make sure that they can help you at Compliance Essentials. Thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you in our next episode. See you later.